Starting our countdown at number 13, the AMC Pacer from 1975 to 1980. American Motors Corporation marketed this as the first wide small car, featuring a distinctive bubble-shaped greenhouse and unusually wide body for its compact size. Power came from a 3.8-liter inline-six producing 100 horsepower, later joined by a 4.2-liter six with 120 horsepower and a 5.0-liter V8 making 140 horsepower. Despite weighing over 3,000 pounds, even the V8 struggled to provide adequate performance while fuel economy remained disappointingly poor. The design featured peculiar choices, including a passenger door 4 inches longer than the driver's side for rear seat access. The massive glass area created a greenhouse effect in summer and poor insulation in winter, overwhelming the heating and air conditioning systems. Build quality suffered from AMC's financial troubles, with electrical failures, vacuum line problems, and carburetor issues frustrating owners. Initial curiosity drove early sales, but word spread quickly about its shortcomings. At number 12, we have the Chevrolet Vega, produced from 1971 to 1980. General Motors launched the Vega as their response to Japanese imports, offering compact dimensions and affordable pricing starting around $2,000. The 2.3-liter four-cylinder engine produced between 70 and 110 horsepower, depending on year and configuration. GM employed an innovative aluminum block with silicon-etched cylinder bores, eliminating traditional iron liners. This advanced technology proved catastrophic in real-world conditions, as engines overheated, warped cylinder heads, and consumed oil at alarming rates. Beyond the engine failures, premature rust became the Vega's defining characteristic. Despite GM's claims of superior corrosion protection, these cars showed surface rust within 2 years and structural rust within 4. Fenders, door bottoms, and quarter panels rusted completely through while vehicles remained under warranty. Consumer Reports condemned it as one of the worst cars they tested, and countless Vegas failed before reaching 50,000 miles. The combination of catastrophic engine problems and rapid deterioration made the Vega a maintenance nightmare. Number 11 brings us to the Plymouth Volare from 1976 to 1979. Chrysler introduced the Volare as a replacement for the dependable Valiant, somehow creating something significantly worse. Engine choices included a 225 cubic inch slant 6 making 100 horsepower, a 318 cubic inch V8 with 150 horsepower, and a 360 cubic inch V8 producing 175 horsepower. Motor Trend named it Car of the Year for 1976, a decision that aged terribly as quality problems emerged immediately. Catastrophic rust appeared within 2 years, particularly around front fenders and headlight areas. The front suspension failed prematurely, with upper control arm bushings wearing out before 30,000 miles, causing dangerous steering problems and excessive tire wear. Chronic stalling plagued these cars, as carburetor and emission systems caused engines to die at traffic lights and during highway merges. Chrysler issued multiple recalls attempting fixes, but never fully resolved the issues. Despite aggressive marketing driving initial sales over 300,000 units in year 1, word spread rapidly about reliability problems.
At number 10, the infamous Ford Edsel from 1958 to 1960. Ford invested over $250 million, equivalent to more than $2 billion today, expecting the Edsel to dominate the mid-price market segment. The Edsel Ranger featured a 361 cubic inch V8 engine, delivering 303 horsepower, paired with the innovative Teletouch automatic transmission mounted in the steering wheel hub. It rode on a 118-inch wheelbase and weighed approximately 3,800 pounds. The controversial vertical grille that buyers compared unfavorably to various objects became the car's most recognizable and ridiculed feature. Quality control proved abysmal, with the Teletouch transmission failing regularly, extensive oil leaks, and paint peeling within months of purchase. The car arrived overpriced just as America entered recession, compounding its problems. Ford projected 200,000 sales in the first year, but managed only 65,000 units. Production ceased after just 3 model years, losing Ford hundreds of millions of dollars. The Edsel became the ultimate symbol of corporate failure, taught in business schools as a cautionary tale about the dangers of hype without substance. Number 9 is the Chrysler Windsor from 1957 to 1958. Chrysler's forward-look redesign for 1957 created visually stunning vehicles with dramatic tail fins and low profiles. The Windsor featured a 354 cubic inch V8, producing 285 horsepower, riding on a 126-inch wheelbase and weighing approximately 4,100 pounds. While styling turned heads, the rushed production schedule created catastrophic quality problems that devastated Chrysler's reputation. Body panels rusted within the first year due to inadequate treatment and protection. The advanced unibody construction developed leaks and squeaks within months as panels flexed and separated. Electrical systems failed regularly, while the innovative torsion bar suspension proved problematic despite its technical advantages. Paint quality was so poor that vehicles looked years old after a single season, with bubbling and flaking widespread. Chrome pitting occurred rapidly, even in dry climates. Consumer Reports took the unprecedented step of refusing to recommend any 1957 Chrysler product, warning buyers to avoid them entirely. At number 8, the Ford Pinto, produced from 1971 to 1973. The Pinto became infamous for its dangerous fuel tank placement that made rear-end collisions potentially catastrophic, but safety issues were only part of its problems. The base 1.6-liter four-cylinder produced just 75 horsepower, with optional engines including a 2.0-liter making 86 horsepower and a 2.3-liter with 88 horsepower. The fuel tank mounted behind the rear axle with minimal protection, rupturing and igniting in collisions above 25 miles per hour. Ford's internal cost-benefit analysis determined that paying lawsuit settlements would cost less than redesigning the fuel system, creating one of the most notorious corporate ethics scandals in American business history. Beyond safety concerns, the Pinto was cheaply built with hard plastics, thin vinyl, and poor assembly quality. Rattles and squeaks developed almost immediately, while rust appeared within 2 years, especially on hatchback models. Handling was mediocre, with choppy ride quality and imprecise steering. Despite selling over 3 million units during its production run starting around $2,000, the Pinto's name became permanently associated with corporate negligence and dangerous design compromises.
Number 7 is the Mercury Turnpike Cruiser from 1957 to 1959. Mercury's flagship sedan was designed specifically for the new interstate highway system, supposedly representing the future of long-distance travel. The Turnpike Cruiser featured a 368 cubic inch V8, producing 290 horsepower, riding on a 122-inch wheelbase and weighing over 4,200 pounds. It showcased futuristic features, including a retractable rear window, power front seat with memory function, and an unusual dual-curved windshield. Innovation on paper became nightmare in reality as complex systems failed constantly. The retractable rear window mechanism jammed regularly, requiring expensive repairs that dealers struggled to complete properly. The reverse slant rear window collected dirt and significantly reduced rear visibility. Push-button transmission controls malfunctioned frequently, stranding drivers unexpectedly. At number 6, the Chevrolet Monza from 1975 to 1980. GM built the Monza as a sporty subcompact based on the already problematic Vega platform, compounding known issues with new complications. The base 2.3-liter four-cylinder produced 87 horsepower, with optional engines including a 3.8-liter V6 making 110 horsepower and V8s of 4.3 and 5.0 liters, both producing 145 horsepower. The V8 models created an absurd maintenance situation where changing spark plugs required lifting or completely removing the engine due to inaccessible rear cylinders. The Monza inherited the Vega's catastrophic rust problems, with corrosion appearing around wheel arches, door bottoms, and the rear hatch within 3 years. The fastback body style's complex curves made rust repair prohibitively expensive. Handling disappointed despite sporty pretensions, with a troublesome rear torque arm suspension causing binding and unpredictable behavior. Interior quality featured the typical GM cheap materials, with hard plastics, thin seat padding, and flimsy controls. Number 5. The Ford Mustang II, produced from 1974 to 1978. Ford took an American performance icon and transformed it into a forgettable economy car with a pony badge, disappointing enthusiasts worldwide. Built on a modified Pinto platform, the base engine was a 2.3-liter four-cylinder, producing just 88 horsepower. An optional 3.8-liter V6 offered 110 horsepower, while the Performance V8, arriving in 1975, managed only 145 horsepower, less than half what Mustangs produced 5 years earlier. Performance was abysmal, with even V8 models requiring over 10 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour. Handling featured excessive body roll and vague steering, while the interior showcased hard plastics and vinyl that cracked and faded rapidly. The Mustang II shared the Pinto's cheap construction and lack of refinement, despite pricing starting around $3,500. Ford marketed it as returning to the original Mustang's compact sporty concept, but execution was completely wrong. While over 1 million sold commercially, making it a sales success, the Mustang II damaged the nameplate's performance reputation for years. Motor Trend's 1974 Car of the Year award proved embarrassingly misguided.
At number 4, the 1978 Oldsmobile Delta 88 with a diesel engine option. General Motors rushed diesel power into passenger cars with catastrophic results. The 350 cubic inch diesel V8 received only 5 years of development, far less than required for a completely new engine family. GM based the diesel on their gasoline V8 architecture, using identical head bolt patterns and the same head bolts designed for lower gasoline compression ratios, a fatal compromise. The insufficient head bolts stretched and broke under diesel's much higher cylinder pressures, causing blown head gaskets that allowed coolant into cylinders, resulting in hydrolock and complete engine destruction. GM omitted water separators from fuel systems, despite water-contaminated diesel being common, causing widespread corrosion in injection pumps and fuel lines. Timing chains stretched, retarding engine timing and causing poor performance, excessive smoke, and difficult starting. When engines failed, repair costs often exceeded $2,000 in 1970s currency, an astronomical sum. Taking the bronze medal at number 3 is the 1976 Dodge Aspen. Motor Trend named it Car of the Year for 1976, but it quickly became one of the most recalled vehicles in automotive history. Chrysler rushed this dart replacement to market, desperately needing cash flow, turning first-year buyers into involuntary product testers. Standard power came from a 230 cubic inch inline 6, producing 132 horsepower, with an optional 318 cubic inch V8 making 225 horsepower. The most expensive problem was catastrophic premature fender rust, leading Chrysler to recall every single 1976 and 1977 Aspen built for possible fender replacement at a cost of $109 million the company couldn't afford. Fenders lacked galvanization and inner liners, rusting completely through within months in some cases. Beyond rust, the cars suffered at least 8 serious safety recalls in the first year alone, covering improperly latching hoods, stalling engines, failed seatbelt tensioners, and suspension and brake component failures. Consumer Reports called them the most recalled cars in history. Our runner-up at number 2 is the 1957 to 1958 Packard Clipper. This represents one of automotive history's most heartbreaking failures. Packard was once America's premier luxury manufacturer, rivaling Cadillac and Lincoln with hand-built automobiles of exceptional quality. After merging with struggling Studebaker in 1954, Packard's decline became swift and brutal. The 1957-58 Clipper wasn't actually a Packard at all. It was a rebadged Studebaker President with Packard trim and badges. Build quality was poor, styling confused and unattractive, and they completely lacked the refinement, quietness, and quality that Packard symbolized for decades. Packard loyalists were outraged and refused to purchase them, while the automotive press openly called them fraudulent. Only about 4,800 were built in 1957 before Packard production ended forever. In 1958, these cars didn't simply fail commercially, they destroyed one of America's greatest automotive brands. The Packard name, once synonymous with luxury and quality, died in shame.
And the worst car in U.S. history is the 1959 to 1960 Chevrolet El Camino. Chevrolet's first attempt at combining a car with a truck bed created a confused disaster that satisfied absolutely nobody. Built on the full-size Impala platform, it featured engines ranging from a 235 cubic inch six-cylinder to a 348 cubic inch V8 producing 315 horsepower. Despite the available power, the El Camino was simultaneously too big and heavy for practical truck work, yet too truck-like for comfortable car duties. The cargo bed measured just 77 inches long, making it useless for contractors and serious work. The awkward proportions and lack of rear seats alienated car buyers, while truck buyers rejected it as a pretender lacking real capability. Sales were catastrophic. Only 22,246 units sold over 2 years combined. Chevrolet pulled the plug in 1960, and the El Camino nameplate disappeared until 1964, when it returned on the mid-size Chevelle platform and finally made sense. This first-generation El Camino proved that identity crisis vehicles fail spectacularly when they attempt to be everything and end up being nothing.